Hello world, welcome to the Puneet Khatri show. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your host Puneet Khatri and I'm really glad you are here on the very first episode of Puneet Khatri show. Today is a special day because we mark the start of podcast series that's the Puneet Khatri show. So what this show is all about, who is Puneet Khatri? These are the two introductions I need to give you. So starting with the very first one, who is Puneet Khatri? I am a third year BBA student. Yes, I am studying as of now. I haven't completed my bachelor's till now. But apart from that, I am a blogger as well as a YouTuber. So I started my career with a technological blog. Then I had to promote that blog. So I got into the digital marketing field. And now I have a personal hobby of sharing information related to personal finance and knowledge related to personal finance, self-development and motivation. And that's exactly we are here on the show. Moving on to the second introduction, that's why Puneet Khatri show or why am I starting this podcast series or the podcast show. Problem here is that educational institutes in India or for the matter of fact anywhere in this world do not talk about money. And money is something very crucial that a person needs to know a lot about right after he gets off the college and he starts working or just whenever he starts working in his life. I don't know, for some reason colleges or any of the educational institutes will not talk about money. They won't teach their students about money, anything related to finances, anything related to personal finance as well. I see many of my friends struggling with managing their funds or they don't know how should they be allocating funds or how can they save money at this age as well. If you have a question, what is my age? I am 19 years old as of now. So that's the exact reason why I want to start this podcast show about and talking about personal finance, self-motivation and self-development, something which the teenagers right after age of 18, I guess, should be focusing upon. I'm not saying that you need to leave your party life or you need to leave your bachelor life behind and just focus on your career and your finances and every single thing. But this is something that you should be focusing on. You should be giving your time and thinking about this as well. I would like to start this episode with some basics like what is personal finance and why is it important. Let's not make this a very heavy episode because this is just the beginning. All right. So what is personal finance? First, let me go ahead and give you a definition from Investopedia. Personal finance is a term that covers managing your money and saving and investing it. It encompasses budgeting, banking, insurance, mortgages, investment, retirement planning, and tax and estate planning. It often refers to an entire industry that provides financial services to individuals and households and advising them about financial and investment opportunities. That's too technical. Let's go ahead and break it down and make it very, very simple. So personal finance is related to every single thing about your personal money. I'm not talking about your company, your business, your partnerships, nothing. I'm just talking about your personal income at the end of every single month, the money that you get into your bank account, the credited money which you use to pay off your expenses, your debt, or in case you save and invest for that matter as well. So why is personal finance so important? Personal financing according to me is like this blueprint about how can you manage your money well, and managing money is very, very important because many people I see around me are not saving money, and saving money is something that's very crucial because you never know what kind of emergency might arise tomorrow, and nothing is sure. First of all, in this world there's no surety about any single thing here, so you need to be sure, or you can at least reduce the risk of tomorrow's uncertainty by saving money today. That's what I think, and that is why it's very crucial. Because it is not possible, suppose you are earning 10,000 rupees a month, you are able to get that much money every single month, even if it's your earned income, passive income, money from your parents, or it can be any source of income, but that's your income for the entire month. So you need to manage accordingly how much you're going to spend on your expenses, how much you're going to spend on buying something new, how much you're going to spend on going out and dining out, how much you're going to save, how much you're going to invest. Every single thing needs to be planned and managed in a good way. And if things are planned well, definitely with a good execution, you can be successful with them as well. So in case you are able to execute your blueprint of financial planning very well, what will happen in the future is that you will have a substantial corpus of your savings. You can invest them somewhere, get a good return on them, and you don't have to just rely on your primary source after you drop out of your college or you are completed with your college life. Because in India, what basically happens is that people get money from their parents for their expenses, for every single thing or every single penny they want to spend. They most cases they get it from their parents. Few of them work, few of them get internships, few of them have their own hustling going on the side, which gets them some money, and that's really really good. But what happens is that if you don't save some money from that, after your college life you won't have any savings, and again you'll have to go back to your parents to ask more money. That is something I don't think so very good option, because they have been taking care of your education and all of your expenses for around 20 years now, or maybe 21 years, or maybe more or maybe less according to your personal case. But according to me, or what I personally feel, is that after 20 years an individual is capable of earning a substantial amount so that he can survive and not starve. So survival, if it's possible, definitely you don't have to go ahead and ask your parents for some extra money, because you are working, you are earning for yourself. When you're saving money, you are able to, like, you have a lot less stress on yourself, because you know that you have this much amount of savings. So tomorrow, even if you are planning for a vacation, you can go ahead and afford a vacation. You want to invest somewhere, or you want to get some good returns on your savings. There are a lot of multiple options available over here, but yeah, definitely that's the couple of reasons why saving and personal finance is very very important. Now many people ask, like, how can I save money? Because how much ever money I get in the beginning of the month, I'm just not left with anything. What I would recommend you personally is that before you get your monthly income, or like before you get your payments, what you need to do is make out a plan. Write it down on a piece of paper, make an Excel sheet of it, or make a plan in any format you want to or you wish to make that. But go ahead and make a plan. And how this plan should be, let's discuss that now. So when you're planning your finances, very first thing you need to know is that what are your major expenses for the month. Because major expenses are something that's very very important. Suppose your rent, your groceries, your any of the EMIs, these are the things that are called necessary expenses. Not going out, spending money in a party, buying some drinks, or going out hanging out with friends, these are not your major expenses or necessary expenses. So first of all, you need to know and you need to figure out what are your necessary expenses. Once you have made a note of your necessary expenses, subtract the necessary expenses amount from your total income. Now what's the amount that you're left with? Your suppose X is your total income, Y is the amount that you have to spend on your necessary expenses, and you're left with Z amount. Now out of the Z amount, you need to know how much you need to save. According to me, I would recommend you to save around like somewhere between 10 to 20%. That's just to start with, because you need to get your habits straight, and over a couple of months when you practice this plan, you will be able to get your habits straight and you will be able to save more money. But let's start with somewhere around 10 to 20%. That should be a good figure to start with. So out of the Z amount that you're left with, save around like 10 to 15% or 20% if you're able to. I would recommend 20% to start with. After that, the remaining amount, after your savings, whatever amount is left, you should spend that amount. There's a very famous quote from Warren Buffett, and I really like this quote. It says, out of your total income, you should not spend first and then save the remaining. You should be saving first and then spend the remaining. This is a very deep quote if you give a proper thought to it, because when you get, suppose you get 100 rupees and you spend like 70 or 80 rupees, 90 rupees, 95 rupees out of it, you're not left with a good amount of money or a good percentage or good ratio of money from your total income to save. In place, what you should be do, what Warren suggests is that first save the money that you want to save, then reduce your expenses or alter your expenses in accordance with the money that you're left with. In that way, you'll be able to save your money, you'll be able to reduce your unnecessary expenses, and you will also get a good habit of saving money and not wasting your money on somewhere, because at the end of the day, it's your money, it's your personal income, and why would you want to waste it on somewhere? Because this is something that everyone does. After you spend your money somewhere, you, after getting back home, have a regret in your mind that why did you spend that, or this expense was not necessary, I could have saved a couple of bucks over here. This is something you should not be going through. That's exactly why personal finance will help you to go ahead and make a blueprint, save a good amount of money, alter your expenses, and get a good lifestyle wherein you are financially sound, you are financially good. What will this do at the end of the day is that it will help you to go ahead and learn how to manage money. Because the problem is that people often say that we don't have money, that's why we don't know how to manage money. But it's not like that. Even if it's a amount of suppose 1 crore rupees or 1000 rupees, if you're able to manage 1000 rupees well, you will be able to manage 1 crore rupees well. It is not the other way around. If I give you 1 crore rupees, you will learn to, or you will be able to manage the money well. That's how the things go around in the world. So what you need to do is that you need to learn to manage money well. Also, one more tip I would suggest you here is that you need to keep track of all your expenses. Even if that's like 5-10 rupees, just write it down. What's the harm in writing it down? Because what happens is at the end of the day or at the end of the month, when you're keeping a track of all your expenses, you know where all you spend, where all you could have saved, and that is the area where you should be focusing. And next month, try to avoid those expenses and save a little more money, or just spend money where you like spending money. Don't have regret at the end of the day that you spend money and then you're regretting saying that I shouldn't have made that expense, or I could have saved money. That's something I personally don't like. I don't personally prefer. Regret is the worst thing or the last thing that you can do in this world. There are a lot of things to do apart from regret, so don't regret. So I guess that's all about for the basics of personal financing and how can you go ahead and get your personal finances right. So don't worry, this is just the beginning. This is the very first episode of the Puneet Khatri show, talking about personal finances, self motivation and self development. Definitely there are a lot of topics coming ahead. If you guys enjoyed this episode, if you liked the content, if you liked the episode, do go ahead and share this with your friends, or do go ahead and review it. I'll be really thankful if you go ahead and do any of those two things. And definitely don't forget to subscribe us, so that every next time I roll out a new episode, every single week I'll be rolling out an episode, you don't miss on that episode. Do go ahead and ensure that you are subscribed to the Puneet Khatri show. If there are any suggestions, you can hit me up on social networks, or you can write me directly at hello@puneetkhatri.in, and I'll be really happy to go ahead and take your suggestions and improve on them in the next episode of the Puneet Khatri show. That's about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. It means a lot. Thank you. See you in the next episode of the Puneet Khatri show. Bye bye.